There have been recent rumors of Jude Bellingham coming to Bayern over the last couple of weeks. Rumors are starting to heat up, so let's get right into it. Welcome to Talking Bayern, the one-stop shop for Bayern Munich content on YouTube. Today we'll be discussing the rumor for Jude Bellingham to come to Bayern Munich. And just some background on Jude, he's obviously one of the most promising players in the world right now. He's an 18-year-old midfielder playing for Borussia Dortmund, and obviously he's an incredibly well-rounded player with massive potential. And I think everyone's seeing that. He's obviously a central midfielder with strong defensive abilities, as well as the ability to create on offense. Especially this year, he's scoring goals, getting assists in the Champions League as well. So he's definitely a force to be reckoned with on the offensive end as well. He's not short at 1.86 meters tall. He's an English product, and he came from Birmingham before playing for Dortmund. And finally, he's been at Dortmund since 2020. But actually, it's funny. Birmingham actually retired his number. So obviously, he had a major impact on the team, and obviously, he's having a major impact on Dortmund as well. So the source comes from a report from Bild that Bayern is rekindling its interest in Jude Bellingham. So another important question to ask ourselves is how much would he cost? Well, he would cost a lot. He was valued at about only 10 million euros when he first arrived at Dortmund back in 2020, but Dortmund purchased him for just over 20 million euros. Obviously, he was a bit underrated in the transfer market value at that time, but what seemed like potentially an overpayment was totally worth it, obviously, as Jude was worth the hype. He's been exceptional for Dortmund and is now one of the best midfielders in the world. Crazy to say that because he's just at 18 years old. But he's honestly true. He is really one of the best players in the world. He's probably Dortmund's best midfielder at the moment, and obviously he's only going to get better and better at 18 years old. There's massive ceiling here. But, he's right now about value of around 7 million euros, so he could cost around 100 million euros, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised to see that number go to that number, especially, he's contracted at Dortmund until 2025, so obviously Dortmund is in no rush to sell him, and why would they take a bad offer at this point? So if he were to come to Bayern, where would he play? Well, he would be playing a central mid role, so kind of like Leon Goretzka or Joshua Kimmich, that CDM/CM role. He is versatile, though. He obviously has played on the wings before, but I really don't see that happening, like a left mid or right mid. He could play cam if we needed to. I think he's really good versatility, but honestly, he should be playing at central midfield every game. If we're playing him elsewhere, it's probably because of a very, very rare situation where we're missing players. Another question, is he better than what we already have? Honestly, he's probably about the same level as Leon Goretzka or Kimmich when he does come in I would say, if it would be next summer, he'd probably come in as kind of that type of player. It sounds like a crazy statement, but honestly, he's still so young, and who knows, maybe he could be better than both these players in a few years' time. It sounds crazy we're saying these things at 18 years old, but he is honestly that good. And he'd be certainly our best next option behind those two if he's not on the same level. So it definitely certainly improve our depth. He's obviously better than Tolisso and Rauka and those kind of players with Spitzer. So just some stats on Jude. So Jude already has 3 goals and 9 assists in just 24 appearances across all competitions this season. And for a central midfielder, he's putting up excellent numbers, obviously. Considering how strong he is defensively as well, his performances have been incredible. Obviously, we're seeing offensive numbers, but obviously he's doing very good on the defensive end as well. He has 10 caps for England now, but is still looking for his first ever goal for the 3 Lions. At the end of the day, once again, he is a defensive player, and his defensive actions are a very important metric to analyze as well, which have been very solid. So reasons why I like this transfer. He's obviously one of the brightest players in the world, and could be one day the best midfielder in the world. Honestly, I don't think that's out of question. Honestly, I would love to have a player like him on our team. He's still young, as I said, so he can improve significantly at Bayern. But definitely there's some reasons why I don't like this transfer. Obviously, the cost is very, very significant. I know Bayern said they're probably not going to make any transfers in the winter window, so that cancels out that, obviously. And I don't know, I just feel like we should probably be looking for other options right now. I don't see us needing that good of a player in the midfield right now. Maybe do a bit more patches around the pitch rather than a big signing like this. Another question we have to ask ourselves is, would Jude want to join? Well, honestly, I'm not sure he would. Obviously, players have disappointed with their playing time in midfield after arriving in Munich. Obviously, Spitzer is not happy with his playing time, so it's hard to say whether he'd be okay with honestly a limited role. And honestly, it would just be a bit of an odd move for Jude himself, because Bayern just extended Kimmich and Goretzka to long-term contracts. I really don't see how Bayern could make everyone happy with their playing time, especially in the midfield. Even if Marc Rauka and Corentin Tolisso do leave, we still have a lot of players in midfield, a lot of which aren't happy with their playing time. So I don't see how this would really work for Jude, unfortunately. And then there's obviously some top clubs interested amongst the major leagues, so Jude has quite the freedom in that regard. If he wants to, probably choose another team, he probably could and get paid a handsome salary if he were to leave. There's a real need for a player like this in many top clubs, so no lack of interest on that end. So just a final summary, this obviously would be an excellent acquisition. Honestly, I don't see it working. Jude's contracted until 2025 at Dortmund. They're in no rush to sell him either. Why would they be? He's only getting better and better, and maybe he reaches his peak value if they go another year with him. So it's just too far expensive in my mind. I just don't see Jude wanting to come to Bayern right now, unless Jamal Musiala, who's his friend with, could be extremely convincing this move. But still, there's only so much sway one player can have on another one. So I don't see it happening. I don't see Jude wanting to come. I don't see us dishing that amount of money. If depending on what the Dortmund's asking price is, there's not really any final number on how much they are asking for, so no one really knows how much could be done. At the end of the day, if we could get him, for under 80 million, I'd say let's do it. Let's get this thing over with, sign him. But I don't see us getting him for that amount of money, and also I don't see him wanting to come right now. So I don't think it's going to work out. We'll see. I would love Jude Bellingham at this team, obviously, but a lot of things have to go a certain way for us to do that. So hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like and a comment if you did, and make sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to see more Bayern Munich content in the future. Hope to see you on the next one. Until then, mio.